Hi, my name's Kailey. Welcome to a gentle yoga practice. This is a great practice if you're feeling a little bit low on energy or if you've been kind of stuck in the same position all day, whether that's been like sitting at a desk or maybe you had some travel. Great practice to mobilize the spine, the shoulders, and the pelvis in a really gentle way. When you're ready, you can meet me on your back with the knees bent, feet down. Bring the arms to a W or a T shape, whatever feels most comfortable in your shoulders. And then just move the knees a few inches in each direction, nice and slow. You can let the eyes soften or close. Breathe in, breathe out. So I actually set up a second ago and tried to record a more active yoga practice, and my body was just not there for that. So if you're feeling like you just need to slow things down a little bit, maybe do a little recovery day for your physical activity, or you already did like something kind of challenging for you, do great post hike or post jog. This is an awesome way to meet your body where it's at and hopefully offer some really supportive movement. You can start to increase the range of motion in your knees and those windshield wipers if that's feeling okay. Notice how the pelvis is moving. Getting some internal and external rotation through the thigh bone. Just waggle the knees side to side for another moment here. If you find anything kind of interesting in the outer edge of the hip, you can hang out there, kind of stretch into that. When you're ready, bring the knees back through center. Walk the feet a little closer together so the pelvis is nice and supported. And then reach the arms straight up. So fingertips come straight up toward the ceiling. Wrists are approximately over your shoulders here. Rotate the palms outward and then bring the backs of the hands together. Let the shoulders lift away from the floor. Take a breath in. Stay here as you breathe out. Chin tucks toward the chest. Maybe you press into the feet and lift the tailbone just a little bit, like you're sliding a file underneath the low back. Bend the elbows, rotate the palms to face each other, and then push the elbows down into the floor. The forearms are perpendicular to the floor here. Arch the back, finding some extension in the spine. So this is like our cow stretch. Inhale. Exhale, arms reach, rotate the palms away from each other, backs of the hands touch, shoulders peel away from the spine and away from the floor. Elbows come down as you breathe in, finding that little bit of a back bend. Reach the arms up, round the spine gently as you breathe out. Go ahead and move a few more times between these two. It's not really about getting the biggest range of motion here. I'm more focused on what's going on in the shoulders. Can you feel the shoulder blades moving away from the spine as you round? And then can you feel the shoulder blades squeezing back toward the spine, behind the heart space as you arch? The next time you have the elbows bent, pause there. Big breath in. This time, give yourself a hug. Notice which arm is on top, same little rounding of the spine. Elbows come wide again as you inhale. And then switch which arm was on top as you exhale. Take the elbows wide once more here, breathe in. And then bring the palms down by your hips as you exhale. Gentle glute bridge, press the heels down, lift the hips up. Not even necessarily going for a straight line from your underarm to the knee, but scoop the pelvis under so that you feel the glutes engage, hamstrings engage, so the back sides of the legs. You can stay here, nice deep relaxed breathing, or lift the heels. Lift and lower the heels if the heels are up. So the word yoga itself means union. It's a connection, perhaps the mind and the body, perhaps the mind and the present moment. See what you can connect to here. Can you connect to a sensation in the body? Inhale into those pockets that are being challenged, or maybe you have some discomfort somewhere. Very normal as humans to have discomfort sometimes. So if you can breathe some awareness into those spaces. And as you exhale, maybe you let some of the discomfort or gripping through the neck, through the face go. Last big breath in, drop the heels down if they were lifted, and then slowly lower everything down. Windshield wiper the knees side to side, and then eventually roll all the way over onto your left side. So we'll start on the left. Extend your left arm out underneath you. Stack the right knee on top of the left and keep that right knee where it is as you lasso your right arm. So make some circles with that shoulder. It's totally fine to have the elbow bent here. Switch the direction of those circles. Especially if you are sitting, most of us round forward a bit. If you were sitting a lot today, the shoulders have a tendency to lift up toward the ears and away from the spine. So you want to move the shoulder around through a nice big range of motion. We're going to stay on this side. Stretch that right arm up over your head so the right arm is resting on top of the right ear, perhaps. Let that shoulder blade move up toward the ear. Feel into that side body stretch. You might even reach the bottom hand and catch the top. My wall's in the way, but if you can give that arm a little gentle stretch. Last big breath here. We're going to stay on this side, but bring your hands to cradle the back of your head. And then the elbows are going to point in the same direction for a moment. Take a moment here to feel the shoulders. And then when you're ready, rotate that top elbow up, rotate the sternum up, but keep your right knee on top of the left. So don't let that top knee slide. Opening and closing. So this little dynamic stretch is sometimes called open book, right? So the spine is like the binding of the book spine. And then your elbows are the covers, right? So we're opening and then closing. Work your way up to a seated position. So pausing in a seat. We might have Milo in the room. Pause in a seat. Bring your hands to your knees or pet your cat if they're arriving here. And then circle the rib cage over the hips. So mobilizing through the ribs is sometimes a little bit tricky. It's tricky for me still. But see if you can kind of imagine that the ribs are drawing a circle here over your hips. And then go ahead and switch the direction of those circles. So the rib cage and the thoracic spine have like a lot of work to do in terms of containing and stabilizing the body. And that's a great thing, but it means that they have less range of motion, and that over time, if we don't practice like different mobility patterns or ranges of motion, that tension can get built up, and then that it's like a stiffness sets into the connective tissue. So we want to make sure that we're mobilizing. Let's switch directions once more, just a couple circles, as we did the other side for a little longer while I was getting chatty. And then go ahead and lie down on your other side here. So this time, right arms underneath, let the head rest for a moment. Top knee stays put above the bottom knee, and then circle through your top arm. Nice deep breaths here. As you move through that arm, if you feel any kind of crackling or any unpleasant sensations, see if you can slow down the range of motion, maybe reduce how big of a circle you're making. And if you're still feeling that discomfort, maybe try a slightly different path of movement, right? So you could just reach and bend through the elbow instead of circling. Find a way to mobilize that shoulder that doesn't feel icky in the body in any way, that feels good. If the body feels good and the joints feel safe, there's a lot more opportunity for recovery and repair. I'm going to change it up to stretching that top arm over. Just let the top arm get heavy against the side of your head. Take a couple deeper breaths into that top set of your ribs, breathing into like your left lung a little bit. Stay here, or if you want to encourage that stretch gently, you might catch the top wrist or forearm somewhere. Be gentle, not forcing. Deep in breath. Sigh out your exhale. Bring the hands to the back of the head. Open book stretches. Elbows point in the same direction to start. And then rotate the sternum up toward the ceiling without moving the pelvis. So once the pelvis starts to get involved, we're not going to get as much out of the thoracic spine. It's just much easier for the low back to find rotation. The body always chooses the path of least resistance. And so what we're doing here by keeping the knees stacked and the pelvis still is really encouraging thoracic rotation. That part of the back that's articulated with the ribs, that connects to the ribs, that has the job of protecting our heart and our lungs, which sometimes means it's a little bit less mobile or open. So we're just going to do what we can here. A couple more. Breathing nice and easy. And then from here, go ahead and push up to a seat. Sit on your knees this time. A little awkward transition. So sit back on the heels. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can come back to your cross-legged position. So make it work for you. Interlace your fingers here and then press the palms away from your body. Round the spine. Really push the hands away. I think he's seeing my shadow on the floor and getting very interested in that. Nice. Open up through the back side of the shoulders. Take a moment to breathe into the back of the ribs, like you could inflate the back of the lungs. Stay for the exhale. Inhale as you reach the palms up. Pull the chest forward. Tilt the tailbone up. Drop the head back if that feels okay in the neck. Exhale and round the spine. Chin toward the chest. We'll do that a couple times. Inhale, palms up, heart forward. Exhale, palms forward, round through the back. Couple more. Move with your breath so there's not any hurry. Feel free to find a range of motion that feels good for you. Exploring the spinal movement pattern, extension and flexion. The next time your palms are up toward the ceiling, pause there. Find length in the spine. Instead of arching the back, just lengthen the spine. Use your fingers to pull the ribs away from the pelvis. Breathe in. And then release the hands. Give them a little shake. We're going to interlace the hands back behind the low back and then nestle your knuckles inside of the left side of your waist. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Notice where that left elbow is. It tends to want to point out to the left. Without straining it, you might be able to gently encourage it back behind you. And stay here or take a couple really slow, small half circles, nodding the chin toward that left shoulder and then up. Soft eyes. Relax inside of the cheeks. So bring some awareness to the inside of the mouth, especially if you have any kind of like TMJ-like symptoms, that jaw clenching, that masseter muscle can get real tight. And then switch sides, maybe shake it out first. When you're ready, knuckles nestle over on the right side waist, drop the right ear toward the right shoulder to release through the neck. Never forcing this here, and then encouraging that right elbow to point back. Maybe the chin nods. Maybe it stays still. See if you can follow the breath, whether you're taking a dynamic stretch here or you're in that static version, finding a rhythm to your breath. Notice if you can create a little bit more space internally with the inhale. What can you let go as you exhale in terms of tension in the body? Come to the center, shake out the wrists. Last little bit, come to your hands and your knees. So we did a lot of spinal extension and flexion. We want to get a little bit of full trunk rotation here. So take the right leg back behind you. You're on the ball of the right foot. Maybe you rock forward and backward, or toggle the ankle side to side or the heel side to side. Keep that right ball of the foot planted. Right hand stays down. Left arm stretches up and open. Breathe in. Bring that left hand down as you breathe out. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, left arm opens. Set the hand down gentle. Last one, breathe in. Left hand comes down, square the chest toward the mat, and then rotate to the inner edge of your right foot. You're gonna reach the right arm up. That left shin might kind of angle back behind you for a little bit more support here. Reach the right arm forward. Find a lot of length in your right side body, length through the spine. Breathe in, and then bring that hand down, bring the right knee underneath the right hip. Turn the fingertips away from each other, and then sink your hips back to your heels a bit. It's a little wrist stretch. Couple breaths. Noticing if you're feeling opening in the palms of the hands. Totally fine to walk the hands a little closer if you don't have a creature in the way. Take one more long breath here. Exhale, let it go. Come back to the hands and the knees. Left toes come back behind you this time. Shift forward and backward, or wag the heel side to side. Sometimes kind of mobilizing through that ankle and heel can help to imagine that you're creating more space between the top of the left thigh and the hip socket, lengthening out. When you're ready, we've got 3 twists. Right arm up on an inhale. Bring the hand down gently, square the chest toward the floor as you exhale. 2 more, breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, inhale. Hand down as you exhale. Pivot to the inner edge of the left foot. Maybe that right shin comes back behind you for support. Left arm lifts long through the spine here. Reach the arm forward. Find that big side body stretch. You look so relaxed right here. We're heading to relaxation. Maybe this feels relaxing to you. That's great too. Nice big breath in. Come back to your hands and your knees as you breathe out. Bring the knees a little bit wider and the toes together. Walk the hands forward, finding a child's pose. You drop the forehead all the way down, and then maybe nod the head side to side. Releasing any tension at the base of the neck in that axial occipital joint. Those cervical vertebrae can get compressed pretty easily. And just moving the head around gently. Just come into stillness here. Bring the palms together back behind the nape of your neck. Fingers point up. You can walk the elbows a little bit closer together and then away from your body. Press the elbows down, opening up through the underarms. In this gesture, this Anjali Mudra here, I'll just invite you to make yourself really open to receive whatever it is that you need from your practice. Maybe some mental well-being, maybe coming back to this idea of yoga meaning union and using your practice as a space to connect to your body, your mind, your spirit, a place to connect to the present moment. And breathe in whatever it is that you're looking for from this practice. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale, offering it up. Release the hands. Lift the chest up. Work your way slowly onto your back. You take a short shavasana. So I think it's really great after any movement practice, whether it's a gentle yoga practice or a vinyasa practice, or I know it sounds silly, probably even if you do a run or a bike ride or you lift weights, to take at least 3 breaths or 30 seconds in some kind of resting shape where your body is not efforting or is efforting as little as possible. And the reason for this is it helps us learn how to regulate our own nervous system. So shifting into the parasympathetic side of the nervous system, which is our rest, digest, repair, recover. It's really important, just as important as it is to move our bodies and practice building strength or stamina. Equally important to practice allowing the body to become still and letting some of that tension just melt. Breathing into any pockets where the body feels like it's holding on to tension. And as you exhale, letting it release down through the body into the floor. We'll be here for just about 30 more seconds together. If you have longer and you want to rest a little bit longer here, feel free to shut off the recording and make yourself really open to receiving these last few moments of stillness, recovery. Start to move the head really slowly, side to side. And take some bigger breaths. Invite some gentle movement back into your body. I always like to circle the ankles, circle the wrists. You might open and close the hands. Take your time to meet me in a seat. Sometimes it feels good to take a big full body stretch. No rush, absolutely no sense of urgency here. It's really easy to kind of shift the nervous system right back into that fight or flight, that sympathetic activation, which is very useful sometimes. But a lot of us are chronically in that space. It's super helpful to consciously bring some ease into the body, bring the palms together, and then start to rub the hands together. Build a lot of friction here. A lot of heat. Rub the hands together a little faster. Maybe you angle the fingers out just a bit so you can really press the heels of the hands and the palms together. Rub, rub, rub for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your palms right over your eyes. Take a breath in. Breath out. Bring your palms over your heart. Even be able to feel the beat of the heart. That's a big cleansing breath here together as you inhale. Let the lungs fill, let the ribs lift, let the shoulders slide up into the ears. Sip in just a little bit more breath. Open your mouth when you're ready. Let it go. Thank you for sharing some time and space with me and my yoga buddy here, Milo. I hope that you take good care of yourself and yeah, love you lots. Take good care.